Let's just do this. Oh, do. Okay. Trying to get that light out of my eyes and my hair at the same time. Okay. Can you hear me? Hi there, guys. Can you hear me? Let me know, please. Oh no, that's not good. Okay, I don't know if it's the delay yet or okay. I see Braden said he'll let me know, but okay. Well, let me know now. Okay, wait 20 seconds, right? Boy, you know what? I feel like they got the YouTube algorithm hyped up. Sounds good? Okay, I feel like they got the algorithm, the delay. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I could be just being my conspiracy self person here, but I feel like they're kind of monitoring the channels and stuff for what people are saying because we're getting really close to the election. You know, hi guys. Hi, Jose. Hi, Dennis, Geraldine, Braden, Chris. It's so wonderful to see you guys here. Okay. So, I don't know why, but someone kind of encouraged me anyway I'm going to do some light weaving here at the beginning. Oh my God. Am I going to be able to handle these bangs? I'm going to do some light weaving. Okay. So I picked a song already. Okay. And, I like this song. I was trying to think of something that I really like to move to a lot, so let's go ahead and play the music. I mean, obviously YouTube's going to flag my video. They're going to be like, you're using trademark music, so, okay. So I'm just going to let you guys know it's Red Hot Chili Pepper song and it's called Dark Necessities. Now listen, I might not go for the whole song. Okay. Because I don't know how much energy I have for it, but I sometimes I go for the whole song. Sometimes I don't. Usually I don't do the whole song, but sometimes I'm inspired to. So just take a deep breath in and out. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to start the music. Obviously, I have to play it from my phone like I usually do. Sorry, my text not as better than that yet. And I'm about to have to get a clip for my hair because this is driving me nuts. But anyway, let's do this, all right? Hope you guys can hear this all right. I just hope, hold on. Let's make sure the other things are down. Okay, there we go. All right. Coming down to the light of day, we got many men that are deep at play, so I keep an eye on the shadows smile to see what it has to say. You and I both know everything must go away. What do you say? Spinning out letters on my heart, made a lot in a touch down. You got sneak attack from the zodiac that I see on my star. Keep the breeze and go, come out, blow and go away. What do you say? You don't know my mind, you don't know the plan. Stumble down to the parking lot, no time for the after love. White skin for an astronaut, well that's me looking the way. Turn the corner right, Wrap it up. Oh, I guess I didn't get the whole time. Okay. I'm getting hot now. So, it's literally at the last couple seconds. So we did good. We got through a lot of it. Okay. There goes the phone. So I hope y'all could tolerate that. Because I love to do it. I do. And so the reason that I picked that song, because it feels good going through my body. Okay. It didn't start off all like crazy, but I can feel it. I can feel the light threads. Okay. As I do this, I can feel it. As soon as I tune in, I can feel it. And, I was thinking about something else. Like, where did I get this, like, ability here? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did I, something, it compared, something comparable. I saw something comparable, and it made me think, you know what? I feel like that's kind of where it comes from. And I feel like it goes back to, it reminded me of, I don't know how to pronounce the word for the instrument. Okay. It's like a Chinese instrument, like a gaogong or something like that. I cannot pronounce it. I see it on the screen because I watch these Chinese dramas, right? And okay, when I tell people that I'm the blue fairy, and even honestly for my own self, when I first was told that I was the blue fairy, and that I inspired children, that like I was written into children's books because I was inspiring and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, well, fairy, that fairies come from Ireland and stuff like that. And yeah, they're ancient beings and stuff like that. And I did like that stuff, but I didn't feel any natural information about it. It's like I wasn't remembering, like, okay, well, if I'm a fairy being, a tall fairy being, which I believe I am, okay, then why don't I feel connected to this particular land or not? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I remembered now, like they reminded me of it. Spirit reminded me not that long ago, like, no, I'm a Chinese fairy. Okay. I'm a Chinese fairy. All right. I come from that's where my soul, when I first got to this planet, that was where we dropped off in, was in a valley that was in the Asian continent at this point. I don't think that there was actual countries and stuff like that at the time because it was so long ago. But, I think I lived a majority of my lifetime at the beginning. That was where I started at, was in that area. And according to a lot of these dramas that I watch and stuff, they're actually teaching me stuff because they're sharing their culture with you. They're sharing their traditions with you. They're sharing their knowledge with you through these stories. Okay. And I can't tell you how many times I come across them talking about, like, fairies is a regular thing for them, like in these period pieces. Okay. And it's because fairies are just a frequency. Okay. It's a soul's evolution. It's part of the ascension process. And they just happen to label this certain level that was above mortal man. Okay. But not yet a god. Okay. Like somewhere in between there. And they called all these people on this level fairies, and they had abilities and such like that. So yeah, I think that part of my light weaving comes from back then, if that makes any sense. Okay. But yeah. So I'm glad to be here with you guys today. Hi, Heidi. Oh my God, nice to see you. Oh, I think I saw Selena up in there too. And Hope. Oh yeah, that's good. Hi, Alexis. Nice to see you. Oh man, and Angel Lori too. Oh man, Brian Larson. Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys. It's been so long. I was like, oh, are people even gonna remember my channel? You know, like it's been so long. I literally could not. I could not for the whole month. Like I couldn't. I got this inspiration. Okay, I got this spark, this inspiration after the last conference that I attended, and since then, I've been working on. I'm like, I told bits and pieces of my story throughout the time that I've been on my channel. Okay, but I feel like I've never really wrapped it up and put it all together in a way, and not only that, but included certain details and certain things that happen to make it um help you guys understand more, like where I came from. Like I realize now that a big part of the difference between my story and everyone else's story that's like out there doing YouTube channels, their stuff, their information, right, is that my story is a love story. My story really is a love story, and I want to tell it. I want to tell all of it. I don't want to just tell bits and pieces where I'm like being super vague, but like, because that's the problem, is that without certain details, without sharing certain things, it doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't hit as hard. You know what I mean? And so, so I've been preparing for that mentally. I've been preparing for it's not even going to be this stream. I'm literally still working on it, guys. I have something big prepared, some things I'm going to talk about. I might give a little sneak peek as to like what it has to do with, and like some of the crazy, like I might just tell some of the crazy synchronicities that I think are hilarious, that is going to be part of what I'm going to tell you guys. Okay, I'm just trying to wrap it up. Okay, so that way it can be comprehensible, because even though I was like living my life and I was experiencing all these things in a linear fashion, there was what I would call time bombs. I call them time bombs. Okay, the ticking time bombs. One. Okay, and they slowly, over time, it was like they planted seeds, and it took years for these seeds to come to fruition. All right, and the ways in which they did was so beautiful and so magnificent and like fun and cool and just magic. It was magic, you know. Yeah. So let me tell you what went on with my month last month, and then I only got a couple things I want to talk about today, and then we're gonna pull the cards because I want to keep it short. Because like I said, I don't want to start giving away some of the stuff. And I already could feel myself, part of me being like, why don't I just tell that part? Why don't I just tell this part? Like, no, we're waiting. Okay, so I know I'm not the only one who got hit super hard last month with a lot of crazy things. So I'm going to let you guys know. I don't know. The astrology was so crazy last month. I had 2 of my sons go into the hospital. It was very scary, upsetting times here in my house. My son, Joshua, who's on the autism spectrum, he had a seizure for the first time in front of me. He's not the first time he's had one, but he's been on anti-seizure medication. And apparently you can't stop taking that once you start without getting a seizure. So I didn't know that he was out of it. I thought he only didn't have it for like 1 day, but he didn't have it for 2 days. And I was sitting here in my room and I heard some banging on my wall. And I went to go check on Joshua because I'm like, what is he, like upset at a video game or something? Like, what's going on there? And so I went to go check on him, and I found him in the middle of a full-blown seizure. And I had to, grab him up and pull him to the ground and have my sons call 911. And I had to go there with him. Eventually, he came out of it, but this is not the first time it's happened. And I'm very upset at myself because there have been other times that I've heard that banging on the wall, and I did not, I really just thought, I'm like, oh, my son's raging because of a game, because kids do that. And yeah, so it was very upsetting. So now we know that he cannot go off this medication even for a day or two because it can throw him into seizures, and we don't want that to happen. So we had that, and here I am, like, trying to take care of this and take care of my household and still work. And then my other son, my second oldest, named Isaac, he has type 1 diabetes. And one day he came home early from work. He wasn't feeling good. He was feeling sick to his stomach a little bit. And I had someone come pick him up from work and bring him home. And I came back home later that night, and he came upstairs and he's like, he's still feeling sick. He's still like wanting to throw up. I'm like, what did you eat? And he couldn't even tell me what he ate. And he's a little bit stubborn, a little bit like, don't worry about it, Mom, type of attitude. So I figured he was just giving me that. But no, he literally did not remember what he ate. I thought maybe he had food poisoning or something. And slowly, over the next hour or so, he's on the couch. And my oldest son called me down and said, I think something's really wrong. And I went down there, and he was so out of it. He was sick. He was like just saying crazy things, making no sense. I was asking him, like, I was like, we got to take you to the hospital. And I said, where's your wallet? And he said that it's downstairs, on the other textured carpet. I was like, what? Other textured carpet? Like, what is he talking about? Like, other textured carpet? And that was when I realized, okay, this is really bad. This is really serious. And I had a whole house full. So honestly, my mom came and she picked him up and she rushed him, because if I'd called that, I already knew, okay, there's a hospital by my house. It's a shit hospital. They almost killed my daughter's father last winter, okay, by leaving him with a bleeding ulcer, okay, in the hallway. I sent him home. He threw up blood another time, and then his dad took him to another hospital that was better, and they found out it was bleeding ulcer. They saved his life. He had to get blood transfusion and everything. So I was not about to take my son with this type 1 diabetes issue to that hospital. Okay, even though my son Joshua had a fine experience there, quite honestly, but it was rather simple and it was not a crowded night. So my mom came and she rushed my son Isaac to St. Mary's, and it's St. Mary's Hospital here in Michigan. And he was put in the ICU for a couple days. He was in the ICU. His blood sugar was over 700. I don't know if you guys know much about what those numbers are supposed to be, but it should be between 150 to 250. His blood sugar was over 700. He was having what was called a DAC attack, which is diabetic ketoacidosis. Okay, where basically his body's not getting any sugar, and it starts digesting his organs. Okay, so it was quite upsetting. So that kind of spiraled into part of what I'm actually going to talk about today, because this was when I discovered that he had been trying to handle this on his own, but he had not been getting his proper diabetic testing supplies, because we had tried to change our address with them like several times, but he did not tell me that he still wasn't receiving his packages. And so I had gotten a call from them in July, and they were like, or a couple weeks ago, and they were like, well, we sent him a package in July. And I was like, oh, so he does have his supplies, because when they called to see how many supplies does he have left, and we need you to get a hold of the doctor for this certain note so that we don't have an interruption in his supplies. And I'm like, okay, And so when this happened in the hospital, I asked my son, when he finally came to enough to be able to tell me and talk to me, I just said, where's your supplies at? And he said, I haven't been getting them. And I said, so you've been basically using bare minimum supplies, which is like the old fashioned needle poking, measure your blood sugar, because he has approved, okay, and supposed to get sent supplies for a continuous glucose monitor that goes on his body and an insulin pump. Well, he didn't have those two things. So he was basically injecting himself like he used to do when he was younger with a needle and insulin, okay, and he was doing that. But apparently, obviously it didn't work right. Something slipped up at some point. So I'm just like, okay, where did his supplies go? They said they sent us supplies. Okay, so that was when I put 2 and 2 together. That was when I realized they'd been sending my supplies to my old house that I was kicked out of last summer. That's where they'd been sending them. Needless to say, I was furious because I was like, you have been getting my son's diabetes supplies, and you know these are like life-saving supplies, and you haven't called me to tell me. It's very upset. I had a very long, drawn out, argumentative conversation with my ex, you know, telling him exactly what I thought about that situation. And obviously, I was a mama bear at that point. And to my surprise, um, I needed to speak to him. I realized at that point that we both did not have closure on what had happened. And I was ready for it. You know, I was ready for healing. All right. And so I decided, okay, you know what? I didn't know how much I needed this, but apparently I do. And apparently you do too. So let's talk. Okay. Let's get it all out there. You know, he wanted to hear me out. I wanted to hear him out. All right. There was a lot to be said because even though this was a very tragic way of bringing us back to speaking terms, I'll tell you right now that it went in a completely different direction than what I thought it was going to go. And I feel so much better. I feel so much better about it. Um, there are some things, you know, over the past year that I've been holding in and that I would not share here. Okay. Back then, because I was like too embarrassed. I was like too, like, how can I say all this now? How can I change my mind when I made my mind up and I was so heavy and I was so hard at hitting this person back with my words, right? Okay, like coming on here, coming on YouTube and sharing just like the nitty-gritty details of what was the conflicts that were going on between us. And so I'm just going to open up here because I feel like it's only fair that I right my wrongs in the best way that I can, and I want to own up to my mistakes and be able to correct whatever damage that I can. Because, and also I've been doing my Course in Miracles workbook again. I've started doing that, and I do plan on possibly doing some YouTube videos with it and maybe walking people through that. That is one of the other things that this whole interaction has got me back into. But one of the main things in the Course in Miracles, the reason I bring it up and mention it now is because one of the main staples is mistakes don't need punishment. They need correction. When you make a mistake, you know, it doesn't need, like, it needs corrected because we're all human, right? We're all here having this human experience. And I'm not talking about, you know, people on the extreme, total bad, okay? You know, like I'm talking about normal people like us here today, okay? And so I realized because there were so many times that I would be driving and I would be thinking about this. And now the first thing I did when all that happened was I was in complete trauma shock. You know, I couldn't feel again. I felt like, oh my God, here I was entrusted with the blue fairy heart. And look what I did to it. Now I can't feel anything again. You know, like how I'm basically just, I mean, I couldn't even listen to music, guys. That was embarrassing for me to admit to people. Like I couldn't even listen to music anymore. I couldn't dance. I couldn't. And so I would just distract myself with different YouTube videos and staying busy with work and just staying busy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this whole experience helped me grow in such a way that I was not prepared for it. I was not prepared for, even though it came from such a tragic circumstance, how much growth resulted from it, how much more my heart is able to have compassion for people out there living normal lives. Like not everyone had it as easy as I did and could be a stay-at-home mom to their children for so many years. I was kind of lucky in that regard. And so let me see where I want to go with this part. I was really lucky for many years. And now that I've had to get out there and grind, okay, and make the money and pay for the house and pay for the bills and make sure groceries are here and make sure everyone has their needs met, make sure everyone gets to school, make sure everyone gets to their job on time, including myself. Now I know what a majority of people out there living in the world are really living. And I just think it's a travesty. And I think that that's not living, you know, having no time for yourself other than to just go out and work a 9 to 5 job, 40 plus hours a week. Like that's not, and having like no time for your own thoughts, even, your own growth, like in so many people. So anyway, so opened my heart up in that way. I realized how I probably came across as really ungrateful for what I had. There were so many times I thought, wow, okay, so this was the position. This is what he was having to do. Like I can understand now. I can understand certain things that he would say to me. And at the time, I just literally did not have the ability to comprehend the difference. I didn't. I because I'd not been put in that position. And so I didn't know what it felt like. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I want to forgive him. That's what I've been praying for the past couple months, honestly, on a pretty regular basis. Like, I don't want to make this man a monster anymore. Like, I want forgiveness. I want to forgive. I want to be able to let this go and to move on and to move past it and to experience happiness again and to experience feeling love again. I want, and if it means letting go of that and moving past that, then I'm ready to do it. I want to do it. And it just so happens that the universe worked it out to where, I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to start to share the truth about what I had learned upon reflection over the past year of what I've been living as compared to what I have had gotten a chance to live, because I was literally frozen. I'm not saying that he was perfect or that he didn't do things that were wrong. And he said, he would own that too. I know he would. And he has apologized to me for several things in depth and detail. And I think that he honestly didn't know how to apologize to me for it. But in all actuality, if the shoes were reversed and I had been in his shoes, I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing. I really can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing. I think I would have. And I did not know how to get that. I did not know how to get out of that freeze state. It was kind of like, and here I thought, I can't even feel him, right? He tells me he loves me. He tells me he feels these good things for me. And I can't even feel it. All I'm feeling is all these negative things. Why is that happening? And I realize now it's because I wasn't trusting myself. Because it's not that there wasn't that love there. It's that all of these other conflicts and hardships and traumas that we were experiencing together, all that was overshadowing it. All that was masking those feelings underneath. And I know that now for sure, because upon reconnecting with him, I could immediately feel his heart. And now I realize, I'm like, okay, because I've noticed it more and more. Like I really do feel other people as if it's my feelings. And then I react and I respond based on it as if it's my own feelings. Right. So it was almost like this really bad cycle that just kept going and going and going. Like, one reflects a bad, someone's feeling bad. I'm going to reflect it. I'm going to act bad. You're going to reflect it. You're going to act bad. I'm going to reflect it. We're going to act bad. We're just going to keep adding these layers of anger and bitterness and resentment and hatred even. And that wasn't our original intent. That's not what we set out to do. But, after talking to him, I mean, he has owned up to the fact that he was not honest with me in a lot of ways. But, if people can't be honest with themselves, how are they going to be honest with other people? And I don't think that he had the courage yet to be honest with himself. And indeed, I hadn't had the courage yet to be honest with all of you here and to speak this out loud until now, and I'm really happy for it. I didn't even feel angry at him anymore. It felt like the soul contract was done. Like, we did it. We learned the lesson. It's over. And now we can move forward. You know, we can let go of those things. We can move forward, because one of the things Spirit kept telling me during it, I didn't want to hear them. I didn't want to listen to them when they were telling me this, but they told me that actually on the other side, where we all come from, that me and my ex, that we were actually really close and trusted companions. And that only, Spirit basically said, only someone you really trust and love will be willing to come and play out and be the bad guy in your story. You know, only someone, like, you guys are really, like, that is what the purpose was, to help each other grow and expand. And sometimes someone has to be the bad guy in order to do that. You know, but we're all still connected. And it was very meaningful. It was very moving. I feel it felt like I finally could settle. You know, I finally could settle into this house of, like, okay, like, I even got to, you know, I went and I picked up the supplies for my son at my old house, and immediately I realized, because I'd already been catching on to this, and telling you, Spirit works it out and just so perfectly the way they work and how it all lined up. Okay, but I realized that I left a piece of myself back at that house. I specifically tied it to Esmeralda, the willow tree that was in my backyard. And a part of me had been missing for this entire year, even though I'd been calling her back and I've been trying to get it back. But I had to go to the house. I had to go to the tree to get her back, because immediately upon being there and seeing the tree and hugging that tree, it was like the blue fairy was back. That was the piece of myself that I left there. And I thought she was dead. I thought she was gone. You know, I remember at the Journey to Truth conference, you know, the reason that I didn't have as amazing of a time as I usually do at conferences is because some part of it hit me then when I was there, that it felt like the blue fairy had died and that she wasn't there anymore. And I didn't even know who I was anymore. Now I see, though. So Spirit has been walking me through it for the past month. Like, no, they're like, let's stop and remember. They're like, don't push it all away. Because this was a beautiful story and I had to go through it. Like, all these things that happened to me were absolutely meant to happen to me. And, you know, had a divine purpose. So they're walking me through it. They're like, you remember all these things? Do you remember this thing? Do you remember that thing? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I do. I do remember all that. I remember how magical it was. I remember how absolutely mind-blowing it was to have these crazy experiences where it's like time bombs. I'm telling you, I call them time bombs. So yeah, I'm going to go over that. I'm preparing a really good stream where I'm going to go over, I'm going to call it, I want to call it bigger, longer, uncut, raw lore. I thought that would be kind of good. I was like, yeah, because we're getting into my lore. All right. You know, like, that is literally what I have. I have a whole beautiful magical story that spans over decades, quite frankly. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys about that stuff. Okay. So that was the healing and forgiveness thing. I gave you my August updates. Oh snap. Just realized I'm going to need to get my tarot cards that are in the green bag behind my computer. Okay. So yeah, I'm finally starting to feel back to my normal self. I'm feeling again. Okay. Like, that's the thing. Like, the second that I reconnected with my ex here, okay, like, I could feel him. I could feel his heart. I could feel how happy he was. I could feel how excited he was to talk to me again. And that was when I realized, like, wow, have we both been just basically feeling the same thing? Have we both been, we didn't have that closure. So we both just been shut down in our heart. And I really do think that that was the case. And I'm ready to go forward in whatever way the universe would guide us. Okay. Whatever way that would be best for both of us to wind up in alignment with our highest timeline of love and joy. Okay. Timeline of highest love and joy. That is what I'm trying to get back to. But even when you're getting on that, and I just have to remind people this, it's not going to be a walk in the park the whole time. You got to realize that. And I know that. I know even with the heart wishes that I've made for people, that it's not going to be a perfect experience being in a human form, you know what I'm saying? And having to actually grow and do things. But look, I mean, even though it was hard for me to get out there and make a living for myself, I did it. And it taught me so much about myself. It taught me what I'm capable of. It taught me how to fly. It gave me my wings. Like, I can do this. Okay. So there was one more thing I wanted to say about that. I feel like I kind of got away from myself. I haven't even been looking at the chat, and I apologize for that, but I really I needed to get through the harder stuff first. Okay. So, all right. So let me see what else I put on my to-do list in my mind. If there's anything else. Okay. There is one other really crazy dream that I want to share real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the tarot, because this kind of piggybacks off into what we're going to talk about the next time I stream. So I really hope that you will hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell on if you haven't subscribed already, because I'm coming back, like I said, bigger, longer, uncut, raw lore. We're going to be doing that next time I stream. I just hope I can be within a week. That's all. I just hope that I can finish. Like I said, I've been working on it for weeks. So I really hope that I can manage to do this. But I had this really crazy dream, my dreams come true, right? And several elements of the dream did come true the next day. But I had this dream that I was driving in a car. I was going to some other location. I think I was just visiting someone. And I had my kitten with me. I had Nia with me. And she was in my car. And she was messing around. She had the zoomies, and we were driving on the freeway, and she literally fell out the window in my dream. I didn't think she was hurt, but I did think that she was lost. And so I got to the location. I couldn't stop. I couldn't go back. I got to the location I was supposed to go to. And I asked my mom, basically, what shelters are around this area. We couldn't find the shelters. Okay. I want to make sure I try to find my kitten. And there was another cat that was there, another kitten. Someone there had a different kitten. And they said, "Oh, you lost your kitten?" I'm like, "Yeah," and so they gave me this new kitten, right? I was like, "Wow, thank you," but still in my heart, I was like, I'm sad. I want my kitten, Nia. And so I managed, I took my kitten, in the dream, took my kitten, my new kitten home. All right. And when I got home, Nia, my kitten, was already there. But not only was she there, she had doubled herself somehow. Now there was two of her there. She had doubled. Okay. And I'm not the only person that has had a dream recently. My son, William, also had a dream that my cat, Nia, was two. Okay. And that at one point she had died. And then she was there was a ghost cat. And then there was two of her. And I'm just like, okay, two kittens. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, I'll tell you one of the elements that came true the next day. When I woke up, I was scrolling through Facebook, right? So I'm scrolling through my feed, which I don't get a chance to do as much as I would like at this point. I'm not my meme page. I pump out memes, like a bunch of them, like once every couple days. But anyway, that's besides the point. So I'll just say Daryl James posted the picture of the kitten that someone gave me in my dream. Exact same kitten. I was like, oh my God, that is weird. But the question it got me asking myself is, do I have some ability to double things? Is that something people can do? Did I double myself? Did I double someone else? Am I able to double things somehow? Because as you know, I've been talking about my glitches in the Matrix, and it's, I've been double, actual objects that I did not order two of, and suddenly I have two of them, right? I've honestly have been thinking about this for a long time. There's a reason why I automatically go to that. I opened, I was going to make eggs, right? 3 times in the past year, I'll go to crack an egg and it will come out a double yolk. And I'm like, what is this? What is this doubling? I'm literally watching a show right now called The Double, too. It's a Chinese drama. Okay. But the reason that I asking myself this, and part of what we're going to go into, and I'll just give you guys a little hint of what I, because I tell parts of my story when spirit relates it to other stories, right? Other movies or TV shows, and they pull from that to help me understand better, like the finer details of reality, I guess, than what I really have been experiencing. Okay, so next week, what we're talking about, okay, because I've gone over a lot, right? I've gone over the fifth element. I've gone over how my story can relate to the OA. I've gone over, what are some of the other ones? Oh, I know there's some other one, like the love between fairy and devil. I mean, there's a lot of shows I've gone over, a lot of Adventure Time episodes. I'm trying to remember some of the bigger ones. There's some I haven't talked about. Like one time they told me the situation I was involved in was like The Dangerous Method, which is a story about Carl Jung, and a woman who ended up he mentored this woman who ended up being inspired by him in order to become a great psychoanalyst, just like he was doing. Okay. There's several more though. So anyway, one of the shows that Spirit kept reminding me to think about, and they were like, you need to go back and think about this because this is literally what you asked for. And it's a Doctor Who. It's a Doctor Who episode, of course it is. It's the Journey's End episode where basically the Dr. Donna gets created and the Metacrisis Doctor gets created. Okay. And they did it again. This is not the only time. The Metacrisis Doctor, he ends up, if you guys are familiar with the Doctor Who, sorry if I'm spoiling it for some of you, but it's like, were they just going to give everyone, every companion in the Doctor Who series now gets their own copy version of David Tennant as the Doctor? Because that's what they did in the new episodes, right? The newer episodes with the new David Tennant's coming back on Doctor Who. Watch the new episode. Donna's back. Oh my God, Donna was never supposed to be back. She's back because he had to wipe her memory, because she couldn't handle being part-time. So anyway, I'm getting too far into those details. So I don't want to spoil all of it. But anyway, first Rose gets to keep the Metacrisis Doctor. Now Donna's getting her own doctor, and because he didn't just regenerate from the David Tennant version. Now he doubled himself. He split into two, and part of him is living as the Doctor over here, and part of him is living as the Doctor over here. He's ready for taking some break though and hanging out with just Donna. So anyway, yeah, I think that is about it as far as the off tarot subject topic that I want to talk about. Let's go ahead and let's get those tarot cards out. And I bet you guys have missed this. I'm expecting you guys to have missed this. Time for a fortune cookie. Yay! Fortune cookie time. Okay. Who's ready for it? Okay, let's go. All right, let's just clear the energy for a second because I was really excited to talk about all this stuff. I'm really happy to be back here, guys. Oh wait. Okay. Oh, you're a Whovian angel, Lori. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm going to be talking to you about Doctor Who stuff for sure then. Oh, really? Okay, sorry. I'm just now catching up with the chat and just yeah. Oh, Miss White Swan. I see you there. You were born at St. Mary's Hospital, Chris? Wow, good hospital. Now you can't watch it. No, you're not allowed to watch it. I'm sorry, I spoiled it from you. But that's part of one of the little things about Doctor Who. If you know Doctor Who, spoilers. But that's because River doesn't usually tell the spoilers. But Spirit does tell me the spoilers. Even when I am don't believe them, they'll still tell me. Yeah, it's gonna be this person. I'm like, oh, okay. Or yeah, it's gonna be this. I'm like, oh no, what? They spoiled the whole ending of a TV drama I was watching. Do you guys remember that? If you've been, I was literally watching A Scent of Time. It was called, this Chinese drama on HBO Max. And before I could get to the ending, And it, like, the ending really took you for a loop. Okay, like it really spun you around. All right, most people would not see it coming, but Spirit told me. Spirit was like, "Hey, you ever think about this? You ever think about this theory or this concept? You know?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, not really, but I guess I do now because you're talking to me about it." And then, boom, that was the ending. Okay. You have a TARDIS on your car, Angel Lori. I want to see that. I want to see a picture of it. You know, we had actually sonic screwdrivers here in my house. So, but yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's do the fortune cookie for the collector. Okay, I'm going to zero myself out here. What does the collective need to hear? What does the collective need to hear? I'm reaching into the bottom. I'm pulling up one from the bottom. What does the collective need to hear? Here it is. Okay, let's see. Let's check first to make sure there is even a fortune in this, because, you know, I don't like that. There is. Sometimes we don't get a fortune in it. But in this case, we did. Okay. Wow. Okay, somehow this got stale. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, guys. So just so y'all know, later today, you'll be a voice of reason. Okay? Later today, you'll be the voice of reason. So it sounds like you're going to need to vocally assist someone in whatever issue or conflict that they're experiencing at the time. So I'm just going to ask God to bless all of you so that you guys can be the best voice of reason to help guide whoever it is that needs your assistance. And I ask that the tarot cards that we pull here today that they be felt and heard and digested, that the cards and their meaning come through to people in a way that helps them on their journey through life. Okay. What is it that Spirit wants to tell us? All right, so I'm going to have to step over here for just a second to grab my actual decks. Okay. And if you guys want me to do an oracle card too, after at the end, I can pull an oracle card from one of my oracle decks if you want. If you don't really feel like it, you're like, you know, tarot's enough. I don't need an oracle card too. You know, that's fine. But if someone wants me to pull an oracle card, it only is going to take one person. Put it in the chat. All right, hold on one sec. Okay. Okay. Also, I got this to DoorDash with, which I find very fun. When I drop off the order now, and you have to take a picture of the order, right? So I take a picture of it and I like point to the food. Like, here's your food. You can't see it. There it is. It's right there. Anyway, I really like this pointer. Boop. Okay. My kids try to take it from me too. So I'm like, leave it alone. It's mine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was actually able to even meditate again for the first time in a year, probably a year. You know, now that the kids are back in school, I'm able to like have some actual personal time in the morning since I'm forced to be awake, you know, that early anyway. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get back on track to what got me to this point. You know what I'm saying? What helps me open up and what helped me get in alignment with all of you here, you know. We want a card. Okay, we want a card. All right, we will do an oracle deck after this. Okay. All right, give you a card. I see two people now saying give us the second card too. All right, we will pull an oracle card at the end. Let's go ahead and prepare. Push everything else out. Put it all away. No need to bring in all of this mental chatter into the into the reading. All right, for the collective. For the collective. I don't know if the one that been created overnight. I do want to request that you assist me. I'm pulling these cards for the collective. Okay, so what is it that the collective needs to hear? One more time. Mm-hmm. All right, so I pray that this message is received in the best way based on whoever is listening now and in the future. Okay, for the here we go. Tell us about the energies coming up. All right, got it. Oh, okay. So the first card we got today is the Hierophant. Okay, this is a pretty serious guy. This can be pretty serious individual, right? Okay, as you can see, he's like pointing up above there, the top of his head, because ultimately what this card wants you to do is they want you to stop. And you know, it could even be, I'm sorry, it's like coming in real fast here, but this could even be that you need to, like, a person you respect spiritually, you know, someone who you would go to possibly be the voice of reason, right? You know, so if there's someone that you look up to, that you respect, that's like a mentor, even possibly, like they could have some keys of information for you. So you may need to talk to them, and I'll tell you what they're going to direct you to do. They're going to direct you to really do a full inventory inside your being, like what choices and what steps are going to get you to the highest good, not just for yourself, but for all people involved, right? Because those aren't always the same thing. You know, those aren't like what you want to do might, like, if there's a bunch of options, what you specifically want to do might not really be what's the highest good for everyone. So it's like about compromising a little bit, right? So they're really trying to guide you and steer you and direct you, and to choosing the right door, so to speak. Okay. And if you aren't going the way that they're suggesting that you go, if spirit's guiding you, okay, if you're not going that way, they're going to dry those opportunities up until you start to see the direction that they're asking you to take and they're asking you to go. But I always really love the fact that there's these two keys here, because that tells me like you have part of the puzzle, like you have a way to unlock things. Like maybe this person can help you unlock different parts. It also makes me feel like DNA activation. So if any of you have been working on that, or if you feel like the astrological energies are bringing that in, like either you already have them, all right, and this is you, or there's someone that you look up to that you need to go and speak to, and they're going to have, like, maybe you're in a situation where it's like you just not sure which way to go. Well, someone's going to have some keys for you to help you understand what would be the best option, which would be the best way to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull the second card, though. Okay. Explain more about the energies for the collective. Explain more. Tell us more about this energy. Tell us more about this energy. Okay. Boom. Wow, we're getting two major arcana cards. Okay, so this is really like, okay, I don't know if you're in the middle of trying to decide on something or not. Like, I mean, I know for me, I can definitely personally relate to this card right now. Okay, this is the Hermit. All right, it's time to get all your ideals straightened out. Okay, you see how these are swords, right? They're just like kind of scattered all over the place. So like for me, okay, preparing for that stream that I am going to be doing here soon, talking about my love story with the universe, basically. yeah, it's time to get all those things in alignment. They're kind of scattered all over the place. It's not linear. It's like it's time to go inside yourself and really put the pieces together. Okay. Like really look at everything, because if you're going and you're getting advice from this person and they're giving you some keys to unlock this puzzle, right? Well, now it's time to take those keys after you've decided, okay, you know, I'm going to meditate on this. I'm going to contemplate on this. Okay. You got to take your inner light. The inner light is your consciousness. You got to shine that inside of yourself. It might take some time. Like basically, whatever is going on in your life right now, it is not time for quick or rushed decisions. Okay. There is some reconnaissance, so to speak, that needs to be done. Okay. I get it almost even like a little bit of a sad feeling from this card, but yeah. I don't know why Odin is coming up to me for some reason, like the god, so to speak, like what he represents or something like that. So I don't know if that will hit for someone out there, but I feel like Spirit was just urging me to mention that. Like it kind of reminds me of an Odin figure. Okay. So, okay. So that is the first two cards. We got the Hierophant, we got the Hermit. So we're going to need to really be thinking about what is really best for everyone involved here. And we're going to really need to do some inner searching, clearing our mind, getting our thoughts straight. Okay. Getting them all in a row, so to speak. Only way to do that is to use your consciousness and to really do some reflecting. Like, don't just distract yourself with things. Like, you really need to take the time and think about things that maybe aren't the most fun to think about, or they're not the most comfortable to think about, you know, but it's time. It's time to do that. So let's pull the last card. Okay, Spirit, please tell me. Explain these last little bit of the message here. What is the last card that we need for the collective reading? What's the last card we need for the collective reading? Boom. Wow. Okay, so this is really going to help you mature and grow and turn into someone who is very much a go-getter, someone who isn't afraid to take the actions to get things done. All right, like the King of Rods. Yes, he could be a fire sign, even, you know, Rods is fire energy. So, you know, could be Aries, Sagittarius. What's the other fire sign? Leo, right? Like, because I did, like, this is like very masculine. I'm getting, we got the Hierophant, we got the Hermit, we got the King of Rods here. He's a very swift thinker too. Like, he knows exactly what he wants to go for and he goes for it. He's someone who has like earned his place in the world the hard way, almost. Like, he has done the work. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that actually went out there and he took the actions. He made something of himself. You know, some of these other kings can be more like, you know, things can be kind of handed to them in a way, so to speak. Not the King of Rods. You know, the King of Wands is someone, or Rods in my deck here. Okay, he is someone who earned his place. He earned it. He put in the time. He put in the work. You know, and now he has a very strong presence, you know, a very passionate one too. You know, he's not afraid to fight for what's right and what's good, even if it goes against what other people are saying, so to speak. Okay, because he knows what he wants and he goes out and he gets it. That type of energy. Okay, so whatever it is that you're going to come out here through, we got the Hierophant doing what's best for the highest good, right? The Hermit doing that inner work and getting those thoughts in alignment, so you know exactly what it is that you want, how you want to proceed, and what actions you want to take going forward, right? Okay, and in doing so, you mature yourself up to a place where it's like you will have proven that you earned your place. You will have proven that. Okay, it will be visible. Okay. They just keep drawing my eyes back to this bird. You know, he's swift. He's a swift thinker. He's got a lot in his mind, right? He's got his third eye. That's fine. It's open. I don't know why I said it's like finally open. Like the third eye it's there. It's opened. Okay. He's even looking at he's looking at this card right now. So let me show you how it looks to me. And I put them together. See, it looks like he's looking at the Hermit. Okay, so he's gonna watch this guy do the inner work, because maybe this guy has already done a lot of the outer work in the world to, like I said, earn his place. But it's the inner one. Okay, that really it's the inner work here that needs to be done. It needs to go forward. Okay, so wow, that's kind of a heavy message. It's kind of a heavy energy. So I'm really wishing the best for everyone who can relate to this. I know I certainly can. So I'm very happy about that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull the Oracle card. Let me get this up here. Something's on my computer. Yes. Oh man, I forgot that is that card, lady. That is that card, Angel. That's the big dick energy right there. Okay. Knight of Rods brings that out. All right. Spicy. I hope you guys can stand my bangs being in my eyes half this time today here. But so yeah, let's go ahead and pull an Oracle card. Let me just pick an Oracle deck. Which one? Which one are we pulling out? I feel like we did that one last time. Okay. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves, okay? Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll give you a topic, all right? The new Beetlejuice movie. What do you think? Love it? Hate it? You want to see it? I want to see it. Okay. I feel like we need to go with... We're going to go with Healing with the Fairies. We're going to go with the Healing with the Fairies card. Okay. Here it is. Healing with the Fairies. I think this was like the first Oracle deck that I ever pulled from Spicy Tarot. I need to find a way to, market that. Spicy Tarot. And we'll just make it completely spicy. We'll find a spicy version. Oh. I just realized I actually do have a Spicy Tarot deck. I do. We could do that. We'll call it Blue Fairy After Dark. Okay. Blue Fairy After Dark. And we'll pull from the spicy deck. It'll be just for adults only. Not that I'm not pretty much already for adults only, but oh my God. Guys, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's pull some cards. I think I just totally fucked up the whole deck because I think I didn't shuffle it the same direction. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. What does the collective need to hear from this Oracle deck? I'm tuning in. What does the collective need to hear? What does the collective need to hear? You know this is what I do, guys. It takes 1 second. One, two, three. Okay. Oh, I like this. Okay, so the Oracle card that we got for this week in companion with in conjunction with the Aquarian Tarot deck cards that I pulled is Feeling Safe. Feeling safe. Okay. I mean, already off the bat, we already know how important it is to feel safe, but I do find it interesting that she has her sword pointed down there now, so it's like, okay, don't need to fight anymore. Okay. Love her beautiful fairy wings there, her butterfly wings. Okay, feeling safe. Which card? Does it have a number? Or am I just going to have to scroll through here? Flip through here. Okay. Are you going to tell me the actual numbers? Okay, feeling safe. Okay. I think I'm literally going to, okay. Oh no, they have it in alphabetical order. Okay, so here we go. Feeling safe. Card meaning. Any feelings of danger or vulnerability are healing, and they are replaced with a certain knowledge that you are safe and protected right now. Have you felt frightened or insecure lately? If so, this card is a signal that heaven is aware of your feelings and has come to your aid. You are surrounded by heavenly beings who love and protect you on an ongoing basis. The fairies remind you that your thoughts of danger are triggering your feelings of vulnerability. In your mind, you have given power to some outside entity. You believe that this idol that you have created has the power to hurt you. Yet the only power it has is that which you have attributed to it. The fairies urge you to awaken from this mistaken concept. See that you have the power to create a happy and secure dream, and make the decision to feel safe. The affirmation is I am safe, I am secure, I'm completely protected at all times. Yes, I really, really like that message for us because honestly, at the Full Disclosure Now conference, when I did the Rife treatment with Matthew Mornian, and I told you guys, like, it was like basically like a really trauma releasing of experience, and the main hump that I had to overcome was, or what my body, the fear that was leaving my body, it was I'm not safe. That's what it was saying. I'm not safe. I wasn't safe. And it's time to move forward and to feel safe. And I feel like that might be it. I know there was one more thing I was thinking about that I wanted to tell you guys. I don't know if it'll come back to me. I really hope that helps. I hope you have enjoyed this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed my little bit of light weaving that I did at the beginning. And I'll let you know right now, too, that the reason that I chose that song, Dark Necessities, okay, was because the experience of what I went through and living in the house that I lived in last year, it really showed me, which I never would have been able to see without this experience. It really showed me my own darkness and the depths of which I could go with that darkness. Not that I need to let it overtake me or anything like that, but I definitely should be aware of my own shadow, don't you think? Like, people should be aware of their own shit. And so now I have a better understanding of that. I never would have been able to have that had it not been for those experiences. So ultimately, even though it really sucked at the time, and I was in a very vulnerable place, I am grateful. I'm grateful for the medicine. I'm grateful for the turnaround. And yeah, I guess that's really the best I can pull from it. All right. Well, if there are any other questions or concerns, please go ahead and write them in the chat now, because I'm about to close it out. We're about to close it out. I want to thank everyone here who has come and listened to this today, and anyone who will be watching in the future. I really am grateful for you guys. I'm grateful to still be doing this, to still have something to talk about, to have all the subscribers that I do have. I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you. Like, gives my life purpose in a way, gives my life meaning, being able to come here and share with people like this. Like, I love you guys. I know there's a huge long delay, so I'm just waiting to see if anyone writes anything before I close this stream out. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, much appreciated. And stay tuned because I'm going to tell you some things next time. It's going to blow your mind. I'm telling you, real magic. All right. Blue Fairy, bigger, longer, uncut, raw lore. We're doing that. Trevor, hi, bye. All right. I'm going to go smoke some weed, actually. So it's time. It's time. I made it through the stream. And yeah. Okay. Love you guys. Mwah.